miles, so an interesting newcomer here. I don't think Sandy thinks she's a certainty or anything like that, but I think all the owners are here, and he's keen to give her a spin on her debut, so interesting to see how she goes. Number 10, Madame Bluebell. Yakalea, the 65 favourite, Kingston James in 41. Madame Bluebell 17-2. Kingston James is one we should see. Lucinda Russell on a treble here this afternoon. Patrick Wodge, of course, clear at the head of the conditional Jockeys Championship table. I think he's, after that winner the other day at Carlisle, I think he's 7 clear. And Kingston James is actually a horse that comes off the back of a winning point-to-point in an open maiden. There he is down at the start with Patrick on board. Won by over 3 lengths. You never know how strong these point-to-points can be, but yeah, the old gold colours there carried. He fell in his first point-to-point, incidentally, which was back in the spring of last year. But then he won. I think he was on the retreat when falling in that point-to-point debut, but he won pretty well next time. And the pedigree's all right. It's a proper jumping pedigree. Cost 30,000 sterling as a 4-year-old. Half-brother to quite a few winners, including the likes of Theo, Captain Lob. They were both useful hurdlers. I think Theo was a decent chaser as well. So Lucinda Russell's horse is in great form ahead of the Cheltenham Festival, and here she is bidding for a treble this afternoon with Kingston James. And others Step Out we could do with seeing as well. Got a tongue tie on has Step Out for Stuart Crawford. He's been sending horses to air for as long as I can remember, and those double green colours there carried by Step Out of Simon Munir and Isaac Swade. Darryl Jacob on board. Step Out's recent run, which was his second in a bumper, came at Fairyhouse in mid-January. It was better than the debut, which came at Punchestown in late April, when he only beat a couple home. He took a fierce grip that day and was beaten nearly 60 lengths. But he raced prominently at Fairyhouse on soft ground. There was only 5 runners in that particular race, and just beaten over 12 lengths. That was a good run by Step Out. So if he can continue the improvement, then you could see him taking a hand in the finish this afternoon in his third go in bumper company. So just gone past post time. I don't know why we're about 3 or 4 minutes late ahead of our final race. Oh, there you go, that's why. Poche Noir, Ed Austin's jumped off the back of him, and just seeing what's going to happen here. I don't know how far. He's not far away from the others, to be fair, Poche Noir. So yeah, been a really good day's racing. Thoroughly enjoyed it. 1 or 2 of the interviews if you want to check out when we catch up later on Tales off the back of the replay links as well. We've spoken to the likes of Nick Alexander. We spoke to Lucinda Russell. Caught up with Derek Fox. There's quite an interesting interview there with Derek Fox talking about Corach Rambler and Ahoy Senior next week. So when you get him talking, he's quite interesting stuff from Derek Fox there. And of course the double earlier on for Ben Smith. The second leg sealed by Dan's Thief. Well gambled horse. That was a bit of a punt going on there. 4 winners now in the career of Ben Smith. Donso Star was his first winner of the afternoon, and he's got 1 more winner to lose that £10 claim. And his father, Mike, saying it'll probably come here at Ayr, because all his winners have come here at Ayr. Looks as if, when they line up, it looks as if that Kingston James is going to race prominently. You can see Step Out, going to be close to the pace as well. Looking for Sandy Thompson's newcomer. Looks as if she's going to be dropped in by Ryan Mania, the way they're kind of meandering there down at the start. So as I say, we've gone all of a sudden 5-6 minutes past post time. Next meeting here at Ayr, incidentally, as you probably heard from our interview with Graham Anderson earlier on, will be the big one. It will be the Coral Scottish Grand National Festival in mid-April. Doesn't look too keen, does Poche Noir, to line up, just threatening to rear there. So I think once they get sorted, they'll turn and come in pretty quickly here. So in fact they have turned. So I think we'll go up to Allen House for the last race of the day, Alan, hoping there's no late drama here.
Well, it's still a fair way away from the starter at the moment. Oh, heading towards that starting point though, nice and calmly. for this concluding National Hunt Flat race. Don't think the flags have been raised just yet. The starter looks ready for them. They're just on that crest of the bend before that starting area, which comes up just before the home straight over this hurdle track used for the bumper course. Flags about to be raised. So flags up, the start imminent. Starter has them. And they're off. Runners sent on their way for the concluding Virgin Bet Open National Hunt Flat race over the 2 miles. And Pochet Noir is playing up a little bit beforehand, has jumped off well enough, racing with a low head carriage early on the grey. Shows the way from Kingston James in the gold and white silks. He's a handy second. Right in behind him is Step Out in the double green. Couple of lengths and then back to Saracen Bow with Calio for company. Another 1 length back to Theatre Chief on debut in the blue and white, is taking a fair old grip. Saratoga Steve back through them early on, alongside the mare Madame Bluebell, as they make their way up the home straight for the first time. It's Pochet Noir who leads from Step Out, who's wearing that first time tongue strap today. Darryl Jacob on board. Kingston James way towards the right hand side in the gold and white. Also on a point-to-point at Great Trethrough back in November when last seen. Rules debut today. Racing handily as well as they go by is Kingston James, and just about moving through to dispute now with Pochet Noir. Step Out next in third. And Calio, who ran with plenty of promise at Musselburgh on that debut run in December, and finishing third. Next is Saracen Bow under Sean Quinlan. Saracen Bow on debut today, the son of Mount Nelson. Theatre Chief racing to the outside of the mare, Madame Bluebell, and tucked in at the back in the black jacket, Saratoga Steve. So into the back straight they head shortly, being led by Kingston James, by neck now to Pochet Noir, and Ed Austin in second. 2 lengths away to Step Out, who goes along in third. Calio's in fourth, and Saracen Bow. Half a length away to Madame Bluebell, Ryan Mania, and Theatre Chief and Conor O'Farrell, and Saratoga Steve just at the back there in the black jacket. So on down the far side, and about to race inside their final mile. Kingston James with Pochet Noir still handy to the outer. Step Out close up in third, then Calio. Followed closely by Saracen Bow. Theatre Chief wider then from Madame Bluebell, and then Saratoga Steve as they race on towards the end of the far side. Kingston James and Pochet Noir still the principal pairing. Pace just increasing slightly now with Step Out handy in third. Calio nicely poised in fourth, and then Saracen Bow in front of Madame Bluebell, Theatre Chief, and they held up Saratoga Steve. So they begin to race towards the final 5 furlongs now. It's Kingston James in front. Pochet Noir has now been shaken up in second place. Step Out back in third. Calio's next in fourth. Theatre Chief coming under a bit of a ride now. Saracen Bow against the running rail. Between those two is Madame Bluebell. And then Saratoga Steve is yet to make his move. So head to turn towards home in this concluding Virgin Bet Open National Hunt Flat race. And it's Kingston James who goes for home. 2 lengths in front, a Step Out in second. Calio is out after them in third. Behind those then Saracen Bow. Saratoga Steve trying to make his effort there to the right-hand side in the black jacket as they race up the home straight and towards the final quarter of a mile shortly. And it's Kingston James making the best of his way home under Patrick Wadge. He's clear by a couple of lengths. Step Out is trying hard in second. Calio back in third, a bit one pace now. Then Saratoga Steve followed by Saracen Bow. They're inside the final furlong, and it's Kingston James who's still out there. He's staying on strongly out in front. He led by 3 lengths inside the final half of furlong, and Kingston James makes a winning debut under rules, and a treble on the card for Lucinda Russell. Kingston James from home in second. Step Out, then Saracen Bow clear from Saratoga Steve, and then Madame Bluebell and Calio.
Yeah, what a day for Lucinda Russell here at Ayr today. I think that's her 150th winner. So she's well clear now in the modern day record, numerically jumping here at Ayr. And she just ground it out, Kingston James. Pochinoir, after consenting to line up, made a lot of the running, but it's Kingston James who took over, and she just powered clear. Pestered at one point by Step Up, who in the end has probably just hung on for second place from Saracen Bow. Saratoga Steve took third. But two of the winners today ridden by Derek Fox. The treble completed on Kingston James, ridden by Patrick Wadge, who's now 8 clear in the race to be conditional champion jockey, and you would think we're looking at the lad who's going to be crowned conditional champion at the end of next month. I think that's a healthy advantage, that, to be honest. On a 4-1 winner, Kingston James as well. We talked about the pedigree when we saw them in the paddock. A Kingston Hill gelding, a half-brother to quite a few winners. We've got that useful hurdler chaser, Theo, in the pedigree. Captain Lob as well. He's a horse as well that had that winning point-to-point run.